guys, because I technically have had my review live for like 6 days now or 5 days, whatever it is. Um, a lot of people have reviewed Eddington over the last several days and even in the weeks prior to its release. Not a single one of them quoted the rapper Plies in their review, except for this one, except for yours truly. Remember Plies, Shoddy? Remember that? Remember that song, Shoddy, Bust It, Baby? You remember the rapper Plies. Think long
Do
and
not,
hard.
unfortunately.
We just mentioned T-Pain. He did a song with T-Pain. Anyway, open my review of Eddington with a line from Plies' remix of the Bobby Shmurda song, Hot Boy. And it's the line he says, a lot of you gonna get killed playing both sides. And that's what I kept thinking about watching this movie. Look, this is a movie that's a lot of provocations. This is a Western, a kind of a Western satirical black comedy crime drama a little bit. It's a lot of different things. It's a lot of different provocations about the state of America during the COVID-19 pandemic. Um, it looks at the fictional town of Eddington, New Mexico, which feels already like it's stuck in the past in a lot of different respects. Revolves around Joaquin Phoenix's character. He plays Sheriff Joe Cross. He's a very small man, very fragile individual. And he lives with his layabout, basically, practically catatonic wife and Emma Stone. And he's butting heads with the town's mayor, Ted Garcia, played by Pedro Pascal. It's a couple months into the pandemic. I think it's like May of 2020. And essentially, he eventually makes the spur of the moment decision to run for mayor and challenge Garcia. And he runs his platform on sort of like an anti-mandate status, sort of like the anti-mask mandate platform. Basically, in spite of Garcia's restrictions, Eddington, New Mexico hasn't seen a case of COVID-19 yet in the pandemic. So it revolves around that. And it sort of looks at a lot of different factors that went into play, obviously, during the COVID-19 pandemic, too. It examines the Black Lives Matter riots in lieu of George Floyd's murder. It examines some of the conspiracy theories, most notably Joe's mother-in-law, perpetuated by her. It takes a look at sort of the political back and forth between Cross and Garcia as well. And again, not to use two quotes in one like early part of the review, but it's like I feel like what Roger Ebert said at one point. He said, "I feel like my arm is all warmed up and I don't have a game to pitch." This movie is so annoyingly centrist that I think it says nothing. I don't think it says. I think this is provocation without a purpose in a lot of regards. I think that this movie is. I think Ari Aster's mad. I don't know if he knows exactly who he's mad at. I think he puts everybody and everything on sort of an equitable playing field, which I don't think is very fair in every respect either. I think if you're somebody who's going to look at how crazy every single person is and not form an opinion on really anything or not carry a through line of any sorts through a movie or through a satire like this, I think that's a cop out. I really do. And I think for 2.5 hours, that's a long time to kind of act like you're on the sidelines and harbor this sort of like centrist point of view. That's the word I keep using when I describe this movie, without really getting too deep into any of the things you look to explore or look to showcase in this movie. So that's where I will start with that. What say you, Joe?
For me, this movie is like it is like sniper accurate vision of 2020. I mean, it nails almost anything you could think of that happened in 2020. It's
live and online. It's Sleepless with Steve and the Movie Book Club with your host, Steve Pulaski.
You really had us watch Happy Gilmore 2? Okay.
Back and interrupted unlike ever before. This is Sleepless with Steve live on YouTube. We come to you live and in living color every Wednesday evening, 6:30 Central Time. Sometimes we review movies that the peanut gallery doesn't agree with, and this might be one of those times. Happy Gilmore 2 is on the agenda today. I have my justifications for picking this movie to review. And quite honestly, there is not a lot in theaters right now that is very good. Also, too, as somebody who's been going to the theaters quite a bit recently, like, there is just not that much that's really good out right now for some reason. I'm hoping August changes that. And historically, that's not very common, that August is a great month, or that August is a great month. But this year might be the exception to the rule because there is a lot coming. I think there's 20 wide releases in the month of August. Wide release meaning 800 theaters or more, give or take. What's up, Joe?
No, I was gonna say, like, the one guy watching the show right now being like, "Excuse me, Superman?" Just does not know the whole thing. It's like Steve didn't watch the movie, so he doesn't know.
We could have reviewed Fantastic Four because I did see that.
Yeah.
I also think I didn't mention this in my I might have mentioned this in my review of it. Clunkiest movie title of the year: The Fantastic Four: First Steps. It should have been Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Am I wrong?
Is there no the? It's just First Steps.
It's The Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Oh yeah, they should have switched the around. Yeah,
it should have been Fantastic.
I've been calling it Fantastic Four: The First Steps.
No, it's just First Steps.
Oh,
you know, it's like how Final Destination Bloodlines doesn't have a colon. You know, it's just Final Destination Bloodlines. It's weird to me. I don't like it. At any rate, though, we are going to review Happy Gilmore 2 today. Again, I have my reasons for this. Really, because I do think, and I know, Joe, you got a little bit of a commentary on this too. I don't want to steal your thunder or anything like that, but I think in an era now where like Netflix originals have kind of like petered off, we don't get as many of them as we did obviously during the early part of the decade. But we also, they just come and go so quickly.
Yeah.
And they really show that they're Netflix originals. Like, Netflix has a total aesthetic, like has this glossy, real, like kind of like elevated television look to it. So we really kind of have not talked about direct to streaming movies in a while on this show. And I think Happy Gilmore 2, for whatever metric you want to quantify, I do think this will probably be the biggest original Netflix movie of the year, even though I don't think that's saying very much. I really don't, in terms of quality and in terms of impact, but we will get to that today. Happy Gilmore 2. We're in cameo hell today, talking about this thing. That's pretty much what I think this review is going to devolve into. No less. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you mentioned, there's not that many Netflix originals anymore. And like whenever they come, they're not remembered, because I will be talking a lot about that come later on in the show and everything. But how am I doing? I'm doing good. I might take this off. I was wearing it for the bit for obvious reasons, with Happy Gilmore wearing a specific hockey team jersey throughout like both movies. But it is hot as hell in my room because we're still in a heat wave out here in the Midwest and it's pretty hot still. And there was a thunderstorm earlier too, so it got even hotter a bit. It didn't really cool down. But thank God, good old Canada is going to send us some cool air this weekend, especially for all you Lollapalooza goers. Like, that's going to come in clutch, because last year when I went, it was 98 degrees, and I almost passed out watching an artist, and I had to leave, and I bought a bucket hat with a unicorn on it just to survive. I didn't give a shit, I don't care, but it was just to survive. It even had a little horn coming out of the thing, too. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing all right. In terms of, like, what Steve was saying earlier about the show when it comes to July, I mean, I kind of agreed. Like, the only two movies so far in July that I did enjoy, I'm really trying to think too. No, F1 was June. It really was just the two superhero movies. Superman, which I thought was really damn good, and Fantastic Four, which I thought was good. It was finally, we got a good Fantastic Four movie. Nothing to write home about or anything. I've seen people really praise this movie over the moon about it. I'm like, it's good, but come on. But I have to agree. August for me, I'm excited. Even though I won't be here, I'm excited for next week's review of what you guys are reviewing. I'm excited as hell for the week after. That's probably my most anticipated movie of the year. So I mean, just off the bat, those two movies to me, I'm like, even though they're not really considered summer blockbusters, they're kind of ending the summer blockbuster season on a sleeper bang for me. Like a lot of people like their whole not box office, their summer blockbuster season ended this weekend with Fantastic Four. For me, it ends August 8th.
I'm looking forward to the trifecta we have planned, Catherine and I have planned this weekend, because we have Together, the new Allison Brie Dave Franco movie. We got that one. We have got as Joe disrobes. We have totally lost my train of thought. Naked Gun with Liam Neeson, and then we have also The Bad Guys 2.
Yeah.
Which got bumped up. That was supposed to come out at the end of August. That got bumped up, and we were very high on the original Bad Guys too. So I'm really excited. I hope they can keep the momentum going with this series. I really like what this series did with that first installment. It's one of my favorite animated movies of the decade. How are you, Dom? What's going on with you, my friend?
I'm doing A-okay. Work is getting hectic as things get fun in terms of the summer and summer into fall, but that is the price of working in events and the price of Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. So you take what you can get and you can carve out whatever slice of culture you can, particularly from Netflix and particularly with tonight's movie review, Happy Gilmore 2.
I can hear the excitement in your voice talking about this thing. I guess first things first, we'll jump right into the review, because I do think we're going to have a lot to talk about, whether externally about this or whatnot, because I know I got a little bit of a monologue prepared here soon too, and I know Joe does too, but I want to ask right off the cuff though, what's your relationship with the first Happy Gilmore? I'll start with you, Joe.
Go down, I'm eating. Sorry.
Dom, what's your relationship with the first Happy Gilmore?
Honestly, I don't remember if I saw the first one or not, because I so often get it confused with with other Adam Sandler movies from the era. The other one I'm probably thinking of is the one where he plays a not so intelligent person.
Billy Madison.
Movies, but yes, Billy Madison. I get it confused with Billy Madison, probably because of the Happy Madison title production card at the beginning. I was like, oh, Happy Madison and a golf swing. So that must be what this movie Happy Gilmore's about. No, not at all. Not at all. So I think I'm actually more of a Billy Madison guy than I am a Happy Gilmore guy, just because I don't like golf all that much. Respect to those who do, but for me, I just do not like it, which is funny because Chicagoland is literally one of the highest concentrations of golf courses in the country.
It's shameful. It really is.
Yeah, it's kind of gross how much water they take up, especially with my water bills going up in the Bolingbrook area. It's like going to golf clubs. It's like wow, or like seeing golf clubs, golf like estates and whatnot. I'm like dang. But regardless, I did like catch up on like clips from Happy Gilmore, and it's like oh yeah okay I get the gist of it, and particularly the cult following that came from the movie. It actually is very much beloved among. I know a few golfers, and all of them. They don't constantly quote Happy Gilmore. It's been a minute, but I will hear it every now and then, and it's definitely in. It's one of those movies where it so effectively makes fun of a specific niche or a specific corner of whatever that it becomes beloved in a sense. It becomes representative of it.
and it followed. It was about 10 years after Caddyshack came out. So it wound up getting like the generation after then, of golf fans and stuff like that. And I do think there's something to note here too, because there are a lot of golfers, like actual professional golfers in this movie. You got Bryson DeChambeau's in this thing, Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler. You got a lot of actual professional golfers in this thing who probably grew up with Happy Gilmore, the original movie, as young golfers themselves too. No, you were very kind. I honestly think golf is literally the worst fucking sport on the planet. I hate it with a burning passion. I hate the game. I hate the indulgence and arrogance of the game, and how much fucking land it takes up and everything like that. I detest golf with a sickness. I actively avoid it. And I see the Live Golf tournament's going to be I saw a commercial that the Live Golf tournament's going to be in Chicago next weekend. I saw that August 8th through the 10th. I'm like, cannot fucking wait to not watch that. Anyway, Joe, what's your relationship with Happy Gilmore?
I like it. It's not the Adam Sandler movie that is my go-to for some reason. I loved Billy Madison growing up, but like as I got older, I realized how bad of a movie that kind of is.
It's an awful film.
Like I rewatched it, I'm like, nah, guys, I'm like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. This movie's so hilarious. I sat there, I'm like, any minute now, a laugh is gonna come. But Happy Gilmore, I think the first movie. I know you don't like it, Steve. I still think the first movie is good. I still think it holds up over time. I like to quote it every now and then, like "You're gonna die, clown." Stuff like that. For me though, I always looked at it as like, I see why it was a big hit. It came after Billy Madison, which was a big hit for some reason. I don't know. But for me, the Adam Sandler movies that I grew up watching and loved watching was The Wedding Singer, Big Daddy, Mr. Deeds, which I haven't watched Mr. Deeds since I saw it as a kid, so I don't know if that's good. But I love 50 First Dates, and I love You Don't Mess with the Zohan. That movie is so insanely like crazy. I love it. It also, rewatching it recently, because I saw it in the Hulu's top 10, and I'm like, oh, people are probably just rewatching it because of Happy Gilmore 2. And it's like, oh no, they're rewatching it because of the whole Palestine and Israel conflict that is being mentioned in this movie. And I'm just like, I forgot this movie had that. I forgot this movie talks about that whole conflict and everything. And I'm like, holy shit. And just rewatching it, it was just kind of fascinating, like seeing that all the way back in 2008. They're like, yeah, I know like this conflict with those two countries has been going on for years. But to see it in like a mainstream movie being put out like that, I know it's an Adam Sandler movie, but still, like, it's just like, it's bringing it up. It's talking about how, like, hey, like, this is terrible what's happening. We really need to bring peace to this situation and everything. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. And then I watched them, like, kick grenades around and and then, like, play Disco Good for, like, 20 minutes on screen. So, yeah, those were the movies growing up that I loved from Adam Sandler. It was never really Happy Gilmore. I did like it. And then, like, as I got older, it's just every once in a while I would get a Funny People and be like, I like Adam Sandler. And every once in a while I would get a Grown Ups too, and I'd be like, I can't stand Adam Sandler. And that's just how it's been, it's just like Pixels. Ugh, I hate this guy. And then I would get the Meyerowitz stories. Oh, you know what? This guy's not too bad. The week of, oh, I can't stand Adam Sandler. Uncut Gems. Hey, you know what? Every once in a while the guy can deliver.
Hey, he deserves an Oscar nomination.
And then, like, we had, like, the back in 2020, we reviewed Hubie Halloween, and that was the only guy that I liked.
Yeah, he's had such an up and down roller coaster of a career. I mean, and I feel like I dislike about 60 to 70% of his movies. I truly do. And then the ones I like I know I've mentioned before, Click is, if we're talking comedies, Click is probably my personal
That's another good
favorite.
One, yeah.
His Netflix output has been mostly dire. It's been very bad. But I will say, though, The Do-Over with David Spade wasn't a bad movie. I know a lot of people disliked it. I actually found that movie kind of funny. That was his second one. It was after that shitty Western movie, that Ridiculous Six.
Yeah.
The other one I liked, it it was an Adam Sandler movie. It was a Happy Madison movie, but it was a drama. Was Hustle. Hustle was really good too. That's the one where he's the basketball one with Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves is in it.
I haven't seen that one, but everybody I talk to tells me that's actually a decent one.
That's a good movie. That's a solid ass sports movie all around.
I like Leo. I know that's not a Happy Madison one either, but Leo's good. Yeah.
Leo was a really cute movie in a lot of ways. Now we got Happy Gilmore 2. And I will say this, though. I do believe this to my core. I might not be a big Sandler fan, but I think the guy is probably one of the ultimate good guys in Hollywood. I think he's a very genuine person, and I think it's evident by how the company he keeps. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him, and he writes. I watch the Dan Patrick Show almost on a daily basis or listen to it. They're good friends. Dan Patrick's in this movie as the sportscaster, Pat Daniels. Dan Patrick has him on quite often. And there's a real quick anecdote quick aside I want to mention. So Derrick Henry, the Ravens running back, is a diehard Adam Sandler fan. He was on Dan Patrick. And Derrick Henry says to Dan, he goes, "How did you become friends with Adam Sandler? He's like my hero." So then Dan Patrick says, "Why don't I text Adam Sandler and ask if he'll put you in a movie?" And so then Adam Sandler shot a video shot a video on his phone for Derrick Henry, and he told Derrick Henry, he said, "If you get 2,000 yards, if you rush for 2,000 yards this upcoming NFL season, I will put you in a movie." Now, only like 10 running backs have ever rushed for 2,000 yards in the 100-plus history of the NFL. One did last year. It doesn't, and that was the first in years. It doesn't happen very often. We have an extra game now, but it doesn't happen very often. So anyway, then a couple of weeks ago, or it was actually last week, Adam Sandler called into the Dan Patrick Show on a whim, and he goes, I don't want to be responsible for, Derrick Henry's future concussion problems. I'm just going to put him in the goddamn movie. Like, that's what he said. Derrick Henry was over the moon. So, like, I think it speaks volumes to the kind of person he is. Like, a lot of actors in this movie, what I was reading too, because there's a ton of cameos, basically texted Sandler and said, "Can I be in it in some way?" And he wrote a part for him. And it's evident because there are a shitload of cameos in this thing. And I got a bit about comedy Legacyquels that I will pass off here in a few minutes or so, but overall, you're going to be doing the Leonardo DiCaprio point thing quite often during this movie with how many people show up, whether it's the popular golfers I was talking about, Haley Joel Osment's in it, Margaret Qualley's in it, Eric Andre, WNBA player Kelsey Plum, Benny Safdie, the co-director of Uncut Gems, is in this thing. Reggie Bush, former NFL running back. I mean, and Christopher McDonald, Julie Bowen from the original. It's just a shitload of people. It's a who's who of cameos in this thing, and there's probably even some I missed. Fucking Bad Bunny's in this thing as his caddy.
Like a lot. He's like a significant character.
I would say he's not a cameo. He's actually a character.
Yeah, I would say he is on the poster of the two people that are on the poster.
I was just kind of running through the cast list, but and honestly, of all the supporting performers, Bad Bunny was the one I kind of liked the most. I thought he was all right. I think he has charisma. I'm all over the place with Happy Gilmore 2, as the movie is very all over the place as well. What say you, Joe? Start us off. How do you want to ease into Happy Gilmore 2 after all that?
Oh man, dude. What can I say, dude? Adam Sandler, like, every once in a while, like I said, he can put out something good. And I'm not going to lie. I was watching Happy Gilmore 2.
This isn't it.
I was watching Happy Gilmore 2, and I was like, dude, I don't like this movie. This movie kind of sucks. Kept you more in suspense than this movie ever will. Yeah, man, I might be at a breaking point with Sandler in this movie, and it really sucks to say because it's like people have been telling me all weekend, dude, it's not that bad of a movie. You're being a little bit too like over the top. You're being vitriolic about this and everything, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, I don't know if it's because like this is on Netflix and maybe that's why people are thinking this, and maybe you could just go on your phone while you're waiting for the next celebrity cameo to pop up. You go, oh hey, he's in this, and then just go back to texting your friends and be like, dude, you're not gonna believe it, Travis Kelce's in the new movie, and then like keep going on and on. I look at this movie as it's the worst thing you can do as a Legacy sequel. It really is. If you want to see what not to do for a Legacy sequel, and people have said like, oh, look at Jurassic World. Oh, look at, I'm trying to think of other ones. The Ghostbusters Afterlife and even Ghostbusters Frozen. Some people throw like those. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I can safely look at those movies and like whether I like them or not, there's at least effort going in there. There's at least some effort going in there of like trying to continue the story, evolve it in some way. For better or for worse, if that means just throwing more money at the screen so they have bigger special effects and everything. It is trying to progress something. It is trying to evolve something. Happy Gilmore 2, to me, though, it doesn't do that. This movie is just, it really is just cameo hell. It really is. If you're dead, you're making a cameo in this movie. Whether you died in the previous installment or not, you might be dead in real life. You're still making a cameo in this movie in some sort of way. Your damn tombstone will be your cameo if it needs to be. That's most of the jokes are, yeah, isn't it funny that we got this guy to do that? Isn't it funny that Rob Schneider's in this movie and he does that? Isn't it funny that we got this guy to come in and he's like the guy from the first movie that did this? Isn't it? And it just goes on and on. And that's the other thing too. A lot of these cameos just rely on the fact of, hey, it's like the first one, but it's now with this guy. Isn't that funny? It's the same joke. Nothing really surprising or we changed here. And that's just it. And Sandler himself, I don't know about you guys. When we reviewed Murder Mystery 2, I said, like, there were times, like, I at least got a good chuckle or two out of that movie, and it's because of Sandler and Aniston's chemistry, and the way Sandler will sometimes just, like, kind of, like, dryly be like, oh, I gotta move this shit around now, like, really? Like, but it felt like, at the end of the day, like, as much as I didn't like that movie, he was playing a character. In this movie, you can call this man Happy Gilmore as much as you want. Everybody can come up to him and be like, oh my god, Happy Gilmore, so good to meet you and everything. I felt like he was sleepwalking through this movie. I felt like, and I know it's like, oh, and people have told me he's supposed to be because, like, he's a washed up alcoholic, like, person. And it's just like, yeah, I get that, but it's like, there's no effort still going into this performance. There really isn't. It's kind of just like, hey, you know what? Everybody around me is going to do the heavy lifting, and I'll just, say quotes and lines and everything and kind of do this run-on gag that I'll fucking drink to death, literally, where everything in my house and everything at my, like, disposal is actually secretly an alcoholic bottle, whether it's the TV remote, my golf club, a golf ball, my hat, my finger, whatever it may be. It's actually secretly, like, a hidden flask, for me. There's very few times I laughed in this movie, and there are very few times that characters for me made a difference. Benny Safdie, like, brother, I know you want to be an actor so bad because you're giving up on directing, you're letting your brother take it and everything. Here's the thing, man. Don't be in Adam Sandler movies if you want to be an actor. Right? Just stay away from those. Okay, you were in a Nolan film and you were great in that.
He was the dad in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Too.
And yep, there you go. There's another one too. Christopher McDonald. He is about as good as he was in the first one playing Shooter McGavin. He's not in the movie a whole lot either. Whenever he comes up, it's okay. And what they end up doing with this character, I was like, oh, this is not where I thought you were going to go with this character at all. Like, I would think these two would face each other, but it's like a whole different thing happens. They bring in Ben Stiller, and they do the same exact thing with him again. Like Steve said, honestly, the person who gets the shine here is because, like, they actually had to write material for him, it felt like, and write things for him to do, is the character Oscar, played by Bad Bunny, who becomes his new caddy. And, like, it's like, they come up with a whole routine where he's like, English is not his first language, so, like, golf definitely isn't, like, a sport he understands, and he's just perplexed by it the whole fucking time, and it's really funny. Other than that, everybody else here is just playing some over-the-top, chewing up the scenery and everything. Like Lavelle Crawford's in this, and I love Lavelle Crawford. And he comes in and he's basically the legacy sequel character to oh, what's his name? He just recently passed away. Oh my god.
Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers, yes, thank you. I was about to say
Carl
who played
Weathers,
Apollo Creed. He plays the legacy sequel character to that character. He's the son. And the scene he's introduced in, I'm like, okay, I kind of like this one more because rather than being like the wise, like, old man and everything that knows all this stuff, he just spouts like random fortune cookie like dialogue that makes no sense. But then he sticks around, and like what they end up doing with him is like nothing. And it's just like, oh man, for a character that like started out funny, you guys decided to keep him around just so people could be like, ah, look, it's his son from the first movie. And you end up doing nothing with him. I'm going long-winded. I have a whole other separate rant about this. I really have nothing else more to say than what I've been saying now. Because, yeah, the filmmaking here, it's non-existent. The editing is terrible. There's a scene where they keep cutting between Shooter McGavin and Gilmore for no reason. They keep cutting back to, like, their plot lines. And it just doesn't match the tempo. It doesn't mirror each other. It doesn't match anything. It's just like, we're just cutting to this so that way Christopher McDonald can show his ass on screen. We're just cutting to this so Christopher McDonald can do a gag from the first movie of throwing coffee in someone's face. And it's just that to like the very end. I know the timer popped up, so I'm gonna pass it off to Dom.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2 is a movie that is a comedy that is for people who don't, I think, really have the understanding of what a comedy can be. I think it is a very surface level movie. And the number of cuts to the first movie was actually kind of insane. And then it dawned on me. It actually dawned on me.
It's like a fucking clip show.
No, yeah, really. It dawned on me. It's like, at first I'm like, okay, sure. A couple of clips. Every Legacyquel does this. That's fine. Sure. Whatever. I can hand wave it. And then it kept doing it. And then it hit me when it was like, hey, this is our lawyer. I'm going to do spoilers. I don't give a shit.
Oh my God, that's right.
Hey, this is our
lawyer.
My God. And it's like, oh yeah, I threw your dad, or like I threw you through the door, and then it cuts. So like they talk about it. So that's already a sin, right? Is that you could have just done it again. Like I get the gag. You could have just done it again without setting it up, right? Without saying what the joke was, because oh, I remember this from the first movie. But then they commit that sin. Then they commit a second sin on top of that, which is do a cutaway to the first movie of them doing that gag. And I realized, wow, this is Netflix hell. This is a movie. This isn't just a lazy Adam Sandler comedy. This is a lazy Adam Sandler comedy on Netflix. Because you know about that Netflix phenomenon of like, oh, supposedly, I actually haven't seen the primary evidence, but supposedly, like directors, creatives are receiving notes like, hey, you need to mention characters' names twice. Hey, you need to mention plot points like 2 or 3 times out loud because the viewer is sitting on their phone the whole time, right? And it's like, you need to reinforce this. And it's like, wow, that's what this is. And I understand certain media does need to make adjustments for its limitations, but the specific limitation that is, hey, we're so uninteresting that your viewer isn't going to be paying attention to you. I don't think that's the kind of direction you want to go in. And I think that is a symptom of the the enshittification of that is Netflix content. I don't know the proper word for it, but that was really indicative for me, even though it was kind of an insignificant moment. It showed me everything what this movie was, right? You could say, oh, it's like the South Park member berries. You could say, oh, it's every trope that every YouTube essayist rants about online. And it's all true. It's all true. So at the end of the day, Steve, I think I agree with your assessment that Adam Sandler is, without a doubt, probably one of the nicest, most fun dudes in Hollywood, chillest guys, most genuine guys in Hollywood. Good for him. He is also simultaneously one of the laziest as an actor, as I should say, as a creative. And
that's fair because he co-wrote this movie too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's almost like what's his name? Tyler Perry in that sense, where it's like, you can do better. We've seen better from you. You just kind of actively choose not to. And it really is an active choice after Uncut Gems and other projects as well, but particularly that one where it's like, yeah, he's just not interested in being a great actor anymore, at least on a regular basis. So, and like, here's the thing. I'll leave with this. He doesn't have an obligation to. No. There you go. He doesn't have an obligation to. We're gonna shit all over his movies, but he's the one cashing the checks.
It's very true. Now, you bring up a good point. I will say, sidebar, Tyler Perry actually had a really good Netflix movie this year. It was his year to make a good movie called Straw. They should have called the fucking thing Stress because it was very stressful. It's a movie I will never watch again. Really made me bum the shit out of me. But it was a great movie, no less. It's actually probably one of his top 5 best movies, I would say. It's that good. But moreover, though, no, I wholeheartedly agree with what both of you guys are saying, too, because, like, I don't think I actively hated this movie as much as you, Dom, but my bar for these Legacyquels, these comedy Legacyquels, is so damn low for a lot of different reasons, and reasons that I will recognize and address after our Zoom-sponsored intermission here, because I do think we're going to come with 2 good monologues here. Joe's got his commentary on some Netflix original movies, too. I've got my commentary on Legacyquels, comedy Legacyquels in particular, too, that we will address coming up after the break here. We're talking Happy Gilmore 2. Yes, indeed we are. It is Sleepless with Steve, live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. Back in just a couple of minutes. My 3 closest friends and my dad. That's kind of generally how the Super Bowl's been, because we're all into the game, and we're all invested in it. I remember a couple of years ago, not to go long-winded, but it does go with Tom Brady, though. I think probably the worst Super Bowl I ever watched was probably that Patriots-Rams Super Bowl. That was 13-3 a couple of years ago. That was that New England won 13-3, and it was a monumentally boring game. The only other Super Bowl I could think that sucked was probably, again, another Tom Brady one, was probably the Tom Brady Buccaneers Super Bowl when they beat the Chiefs 31-9, because that's the thing you don't want. You don't want a blowout, and you don't want a low-scoring game. You want, like, a consistent matchup. That's why last year's was really good, the Bengals and Rams, because there were points where you thought both teams could actually win. And this Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl, that's really the concept of 80 for Brady, that looked like it was going to go down as one of those really shitty Super Bowls, because it was 28-3 in the third quarter. Yeah. The Falcons were just kicking ass. And I remember it because me and my buddies, we started to turn our attention a little bit away to the game, talking. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was that the Super Bowl when the Cloverfield paradox was teased? I think it might have been.
Not teased, released, essentially, right?
Released, then teased, then released.
Like an hour later or something.
That was the season before.
That was the season before.
Season after. You're right. Season after.
I knew that was when it was teased at like the second quarter, and then it dropped after the Super Bowl.
Like, because I remember whose house I was when that happened.
Sure.
And because I remember whose house I was when I betted that the Atlanta Falcons were gonna win. And I remember whose house I was at when the Cloverfield Paradox trailer dropped, and then there was Shadow dropping in on the Netflix, and I stayed at that house till like 2 a.m. because we watched the movie right after.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because I remember we were talking about something, and something distracted us from the game, but then like the Patriots slowly started to creep back in, and this was also the meaningful Super Bowl after they won, first and only Super Bowl to go to overtime. I think over 30 Super Bowl records were broken during that game, the Falcons-Patriots. The other thing that was noteworthy about this Super Bowl, if you remember, this is when the GOAT moniker started to get assigned to Tom Brady, was after that Super Bowl. Yeah. Was after the Patriots came back and won that Super Bowl. Then you started hearing people say, Yeah, I think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, not Joe Montana. I think it's time to say
you could have made that argument even before that
you
game.
could have. You absolutely could have. The thing was, though, he hadn't like. It was also was that the Deflategate season too? They start to blur together.
That was before, I think.
Because he did win the Super Bowl the Deflategate year too.
I think that Super Bowl. I think they were facing Seattle in that.
We really don't want to talk about this movie, do we?
I just get caught up in talking about. Talking about football and everything like that. So
I'm excited.
The Deflategate was the 2014-2015 season.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah. Anyway, though, so 80 for Brady. I just want to throw out there, too, it was really fun to relive that Super Bowl on the big screen. I'm like, the NFL really needs to think about getting a Super Bowl or something on the big screen at an AMC.
I've been waiting for the fucking Cubs World Series win to be adapted into a film in some sort of way. Like, where the hell's my 80 for, I don't know, Bryant or whatever?
I'm surprised that the NFL doesn't do that, like with an actual game, put it on the big screen, like a Fathom event, and charge like $20 a ticket. I swear to you, telling me people wouldn't go see that?
I would go see it, honestly, for
like. Go see it at least once.
Super Bowl game, but like playoff games, hell yeah.
A playoff game for sure. But anyway,
some diehard fans, I bet they.
Back and better than ever after a Zoom-sponsored intermission. It is Sleepless with Steve live on YouTube. We're talking Happy Gilmore 2 for better or for worse. I do think this thing will wind up being one of the most popular movies on Netflix, at least for a week. But this is how I'll re-enter things, too, just to get this out of the way. This thing is very comparable to a lot of other comedy Legacyquels. And I think of all genres that have the hardest time in making a sequel, a good sequel to a movie that's 10 plus years old or a movie that came out a generation or two ago, I think comedies have the hardest battle. You see this in the horror genre quite a bit, with Scream. We just saw I Know What You Did Last Summer. You see this in the action genre with Blade Runner 2049. You see it with Mad Max, Fury Road, and Furiosa. But you see it with comedies, and comedies seem to really struggle because I think there's a lot of reasons for this. I think it's part of the fact is like perhaps a sequel was planned shortly after the movie came out, like Happy Gilmore. I think they even talked about a sequel in the 90s, like Coming to America. Remember that? Coming to America. I think they wanted to make a sequel a lot sooner than they did and never did. So what inevitably ends up happening then is these movies go through like multiple rewrites from multiple different people. And they try to maybe contain essences of the original scripts in what is ultimately going to be the quote-unquote finished product. And ultimately then, they're so self-aware as to the impact of the original that they just keep doing the same thing over again or trying to recreate the magic that was once just natural because there was no other motivation other than to make a funny movie the first time around. You saw this with last year on Netflix with Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. You saw it very clearly in that movie. You saw it in Coming to America, the sequel with Eddie Murphy. Bad Santa 2, which I think is better than most of the ones I've mentioned, but Bad Santa 2 still isn't a great movie. There's Zoolander number 2, that piece of shit. That was like the law of averages of like if you make a sequel to a bad movie, it's going to produce another bad movie. That was another one too. So it happens quite a bit with these movies, with comedies especially, and it sucks too because it's like we don't get a lot of full-blown comedies anymore. I'm going to save that rant again for next week when Dom and I talk The Naked Gun. But when you see it like this, especially with how many fucking clip show or like clip moments from the original are in this thing, you see that. You see like this rampant laziness to it. And then it almost gets, and I don't want to. If I was relevant, this might get aggregated. But I don't want to make this comparison too harshly. But I do think it's warranted in a way. The deluge of cameos in this thing, and how often a recognizable person comes on screen. And I think people that actually think they like this movie were probably just happy to see people like Eric Andre and Reggie Bush and Travis Kelce in this thing, though, as opposed to not realizing, well, the jokes weren't that great. It was just the recognizability of the characters. And what I'm saying is, it feels very Friedberg and Seltzer-esque in that way, where like they try to get to date movie, epic movie, Meet the Spartans.
Yeah.
Where they try to get like they try to just by bringing in King Kong, because there was a King Kong movie in the same year, by bringing a King Kong in the movie for 2 minutes is supposed to generate a laugh based on the fact that you recognize it. That's the comparison I'm drawing here with the deluge of cameos. But I think comedy Legacyquels are some of the most unreliable. Dumb and Dumber 2 is another one too. That's another one.
What's a good one?
Anchorman.
Bad Santa 2. And see, Anchorman was just okay. Anchorman 2 was just okay to me, but it's better than the ones I mentioned. Same with Bad Santa.
Yes, I agree.
Honestly, next week might be one that be put in the books. It might be like it might be like
could be
like it's just because of the team behind it. I'm like, I have so much more faith in that team because it feels like they actually coming into this with ideas compared to when it is the original team and they're just kind of rehashing what they think was funny the first time.
Yeah, there is a case to be made where that's why I'm always hesitant to be like, see, they did the right thing. They followed the source material and they got the right people involved.
Yeah.
I've never laid it out statistically, but I feel like that's not a guarantee. In fact, it's almost like a toss-up, right? Sometimes you need fresh blood. Sometimes you need to completely do something different. Sometimes, a new perspective that isn't trying to be what you guys had said earlier. It's like you're not trying to be the first movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what makes a great movie. Yeah.
I came up with I found two really quick.
I was gonna say I found one. Super Troopers 2. I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Like, there's one out there.
That wasn't my first choice, but I like your line of thinking because I think Super Troopers 2 is better than the original.
I agree.
I would say it kind of constitutes a Legacyquel. Clerks 2. It kind of constitutes a Legacyquel. It's 12 years after the original.
Yeah. If Anchorman 2 can be counted, because that's only 10, so...
Another one that was good, I'm not going to say great, it was good, that we...
Did he cut out?
He did, yeah.
Hold on, Steve.
Oh,
nope,
no.
We lost you.
Your mic light turned
Adam
off,
Sandler
by the way. Like, you might want to just unplug your mic and replug it back in. Yeah, I was going to say, Super Troopers 2 is definitely one that I look at and I'm like, oh, dude, like, that's a good one. It was funny. I was looking at this list of Legacyquels, comedy Legacyquels ranked best to worst, or worst to best, and they had Happy Gilmore 2 at number 2. And I'm like, what the hell?
I don't think it was that bad.
But...
Let's see if Steve's back. No.
Dude, damn, shit. This
what
sucks.
The heck?
He was in the middle of his point.
Is it your switch? Like the switch on the microphone?
How about now?
There we go.
Yes. Okay.
All right, go. Fire away.
I leaned too heavily on my cord here, and it like screwed up the thing. I leaned too heavily on my mic cord. Anyway, sorry about that. But no, that was kind of just my point, though, is that like they're rare. Like they're very rare, and there's a good shot. Naked Gun winds up vaulting to the top of that list. I have a lot of faith in that movie. I like every single thing I've seen from it. What say you, Joe? I know you got your own monologue. I know Happy Gilmore 2 made you ponder some deep thoughts as well.
Yeah, man. So I was thinking about this while watching.
It's such a movie that it did get out of you an existential crisis. You can't say it's not insignificant.
I was thinking about everything else but this damn movie I was watching. I was like, man, like, if you're not going to put any thought into it, I'm going to put some thought into something, goddammit. All right. While I was watching this movie, because I thought about it, I'm like, shit, when's the last time we actually reviewed a Netflix original on the show? It's been a long time. We've gone back to the theater for a long time now. During, like, as 2021 and 2022, we were kind of hybrid. We were like, okay, every once in a while a theater movie and then streaming movie, theater streaming. It helped that HBO Max had the day one releases, same day, same release, same day streaming, all that stuff. But can I ask you guys something? What was the biggest blockbuster that came out in March this year?
March?
Yeah. I'm going to give you guys like 6 seconds. If you guys can't answer, it's okay. 5,
Minecraft?
4, 3,
that's my
2,
answer, yeah.
1. Minecraft was in April. This movie costed $320 million, and it was on Netflix. Do you know what it is now?
320 million on Netflix too, which is an
I don't think we
insane
reviewed
figure.
it.
We did not review it, no.
Which is an insane figure too, but it does sound like a Netflix price. Shit, what was it?
It is The Electric State, starring Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, K.U. Kwan, Woody Harrelson, Stanley Tucci, Giancarlo Esposito, and Anthony Mackie. It's directed by the Russo brothers. How many people have watched it? Did you guys watch it?
Nope.
What?
I didn't watch
Here's
it.
the thing.
How many?
It does sound familiar. You're not
I
completely
vaguely, streaming is the new form of Stockholm syndrome. I do vaguely remember this thing.
How many people you knew watched this?
Not many.
It received 25.2 million views in the first 3 days, which is how Netflix usually showcases. Good? I don't know. Happy Madison 2 received 46.7. So I mean, take for what you will. That thing costed
very good.
Yeah, that thing costed $320 million. This one costed, I don't know what the average price of a Happy Madison production is, along with Adam Sandler's Contact List. But can anyone else name a Netflix original that came out this year?
There was one, it was what was it? Accidentally Pregnant or Kinda Pregnant or something? Wasn't that a Netflix original with Amy Schumer?
Kinda Pregnant. 2025 film. Okay, Steve, you got one. Dom, can you name one?
No.
I can only name one as well that came out this year so far, besides Happy Gilmore 2, and that's the K-pop Demon Hunters movie.
The K-pop was the other one. That was,
and that's because that got online traction because of K-pop, but also because of the fact it was from the same studio that did the Spider-Verse movies, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, dude, the animation in this movie is amazing," and it is. It's really good. Can I ask you guys this? Can you guys name at least one Netflix film that's coming out at the end of the year? I think you guys already know. But can you at least name one?
I don't pay attention to it. I really don't.
Well, it's you hear about it a week before it drops. Frankenstein, right?
Frankenstein. We also have Wake Up Dead Man. We have those two movies. Do you guys know that there is a movie coming out? It's a Netflix original. It's being sent to film festivals. It's a director that we have gushed about. And it's the first movie they've directed since 2017. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm going to just quick interruption and just say that isn't Wake Up Dead Man just the plot of Frankenstein? Sorry, go ahead.
I have a guess.
Go ahead.
It's a director that we've gushed about who hasn't done a movie since 2017.
Yep.
Shot in the dark here, Catherine Bigelow.
It's Catherine Bigelow. It's her movie.
I got it because of Detroit. I got it.
It's her movie, A House of Dynamite, and it's coming to Netflix in October. It stars Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson, Greta Lee, and Anthony Ramos, and the movie is centered around the White House grappling with, dealing with the scenario of an impending missile strike on America while it unfolds in real time and tension escalates. This is being sent.
Okay. That actually sounds good. I actually do kind of want to see that.
That sounds pretty decent with Bigelow attached.
This is being sent to film festivals. I heard about this by having to do this research. Why the hell is this? This is 3 months away. This is 3 months away. Why am I not hearing more about this movie? Why are you guys not promoting this movie? This is a 2-time Oscar-winning director. She's won 2 Oscars, Best Picture and Best Director. And all I could think about is, at the end of the year, they're going to talk about Wake Up Dead Man and Frankenstein. They're going to push those 2 movies for award season. They are the only 2 movies that are going to theaters. And this is just going to be another movie that's thrown to the wayside. So, that's going to... Go ahead.
No.
Because I'm going to keep going. I got a little bit more, so keep going.
I'm just going to say that I understand exactly the problem that you are diagnosing. The problem is there's too many creative people. Not enough creatives are dying of drug use. Because back in the day, they were just dropping like flies at 20, 30 years old. Yeah. Nowadays, everyone's straight edge or aware or learning lessons, or there's government rehabilitation programs. Not enough creatives are dying. It's just the market is too crowded. So the actual answer is that the market is just too saturated.
Yeah.
And the whole too many creative thing is obviously
and too regimented too, because now it used to be you're looking for new movies in theaters. Now it's one of 8 given streaming services now.
But and Don, I knew it was a joke about the too many creators being but it is a serious thing about it is too many cooks in the kitchen on streaming. There's too much coming out. Like I said, the 2 movies Netflix is going to make you care about are the ones at the end. It's the ones that are going to push for award season. It's the ones that are going to theaters. Did you guys know that in 2022, Netflix released 89 original movies? It was the highest amount of movies they released. The following year, they were like, all right, we're going to pull back on that number because we released too many. We actually are losing subscribers. So we're going to pull that down from 89 to 54. That's not... Do you want to know how many original Hulu movies came out in 2022 to comparing to Netflix? 18. Do you want to know how many of those movies I still remember? At least 4. There's Deep Water, not a good movie, but Ana de Armas is in it with Ben Affleck, and that's why everybody was talking about it. There's Fresh, which is a fun romantic horror film. There's Prey, the Predator movie, and then there's the Hellraiser reboot. It's like, I can remember those 4 off the top of my head. Like, oh yeah, those
totally
are Hulu originals. Yeah.
Totally killer.
Totally killer. Another one, yeah. Like, I can remember Hulu's. But ever since Netflix did 89 movies in 2022, the other streaming services felt like they had to up the ante as well. Because in 2023, even though Netflix pulled it back to 54 original movies, now Hulu did 53 original movies. Now Amazon matched that with 30-something movies. Before, when it was like Amazon and Hulu were like, hey, we'll keep it to like 15, maybe 20 at most original movies were released. Now they see and they're like, oh, dude, Netflix is trying to keep up because of their, subscriber base. They're like, hey, for every subscribers we get, we have to release X amount of films because that is the math here of, okay, we have this many subscribers, so the demand is here. Netflix is becoming literally a bargain bin of just originals. And that's all it's becoming now. It's just their Netflix originals you've never heard of. There's The Old Guard 2, a sequel to a movie I didn't even know what the fuck it existed. And it stars Charlize Theron and all these other, like, very popular actresses and actors. And I'm like, I never heard about the first one. I don't know what this one is. Like, and it
they
just
made a sequel to The Ice Road, too, the Liam Neeson movie.
What?
There's a sequel to the Ice Road 2, I think it's called.
You could probably make a great board game called Netflix Movies and just
Netflix Movies. Do you remember?
It could be a fun drinking game. It's like, drink if you think this is a real, or, like, do you think it's a movie? Yes or no? And drink if you're wrong or anything. And it's insane the amount of output that they're still putting out despite the fact that they're losing subscribers, because in their mind, they're like, we still have a lot of subscribers. We have competition. We have to make sure people stay subscribe to us and not switch over. And all it feels like is just like, dude, like, I look at your catalog and like I said, it's only 2 movies that you guys are really going to care about at the end of the day. And maybe a hidden gem like this House of Dynamite movie might be with Catherine Bigelow. And Happy Gilmore 2 just kind of falls into it. These movies feel like content. They're not really like movies. They're just content. That's all they're there to do, is to keep you entertained. And like Dom was saying, they repeat plot points. They mention character names multiple times, just so that way when you're on your phone, you can easily remember everything and you just throw it on in the background, kind of listen to it or whatever. It's becoming exhausting, like, when I open up like what to watch on streaming, and it's like, other than TV shows, I look at the movie selection and I'm like, dude, if it ain't something that's from like a different studio that like they just have the license to for a period of time, I really don't care about it.
That was excellent. Really well done. Really well done.
Honestly, I was looking at Apple TV's original output, and it's pretty low comparatively. Comparatively, it's actually minuscule.
It is like quality over quantity there.
Yes, exactly.
For the most part, yeah.
Apple TV is, I don't know about their marketing, but they're indirectly positioning themselves as like the prestige, the HBO, if you will, maximum HBO, if you will, of the streaming services, which I think where Netflix is the giant and just kind of, vomiting all over the place. It's you have the other streaming services just Hulu. What do you think of when you hear Hulu? I think you're like sports when I hear Hulu.
Hulu has live sports.
I think of TV, like, because that's where I always went to watch TV.
And
Palm Springs is like the instant movie. Like, if you were asking me what's a Hulu movie, off the top of your head, Palm Springs is always the first one.
Yeah, Peacock is a unique one because it's a network. It was a TV network at first.
Yeah,
probably the most successful one.
Peacock's got some decent live channels too. Some live channels that I like. Can I just before we go into, I guess, well, because we are talking about Happy Gilmore too, technically. We'll go into closing thoughts here really shortly because I don't think we have a ton to say about this thing. I think really it was wrapped up in two great monologues. Here's one thing. Since you brought up that Electric State movie, I was curious. You said it was $320 million, the budget.
I think so.
I went
Yeah,
ahead
that's
and
why I
looked.
read.
I went ahead and looked. Would you fucking believe? And it's weird. Who knows? It might get a sequel in a few years. I don't know. But as it stands right now, it is the fourth most expensive movie ever made.
Yeah.
It's the fourth most expensive movie ever made. It is the only one in the top 10 that is not a sequel, doesn't have a sequel, or related to an existing IP. There's a couple qualifiers in here, though. Snow White's on this list, the new Snow White. That's technically derived from property. The only other original on here, and I guess it's an original story. It's kind of based off of Rapunzel. Tangled is on this list too. But that I still would contend is a more original movie. But it is after Avengers Endgame, Avatar 2, and Avengers Infinity War, The Electric State is the most expensive movie ever made.
What
a
disaster.
4.
Damn. How do you even gauge the success of that or failure of that?
That's the thing too. We will never know with Netflix. Like, they could tell me we got this many viewers in the first 3 days. What does that equate to dollar amount for you guys?
It is one of the most baffling. There needs to be a documentary, because maybe Netflix won't exist by the time they figure all this out. There needs to be some sort of a documentary later, because this even mystifies critics and industry insiders, is how the hell does spending, and that's one movie, how does spending $320 million on one piece of content or intellectual property, how does that equate to dollar signs when you are a subscription based model? And you just said it too. If they're dropping 50 movies a year, that's well over $1 billion at these fucking budgets. That's probably a couple billion with a B dollars. And they don't go to theaters. These movies never see theaters. How do they make money off of that? I've never understood Netflix economics in that regard, how they can continue to spend. It would be one thing if they were giving like Richard Linklater $20 million to make a passion project. That would be one thing. Or if they were giving like more indie filmmakers, and I know that wouldn't sell. It's a fictitious, but it would make sense from a monetary standpoint to spend $320 fucking million on a movie like that. The movie that neither Dom nor I were tuned into this shit couldn't even guess. Like, it's wild to me. And again, it's the only movie on this list of the most expensive productions ever made that isn't connected to a particular IP, because I don't think it's based on a book. I don't think it's based on
a graphic novel.
Oh, well, I'm wrong.
And I forgot to add this point onto my whole thing, which was a lot of Netflix stuff that they're getting like and putting out. They're making sure that in some sort of way they can always make a sequel to down the line.
Of course.
Because like that's just how, like, it's like, hey, it has to be IP we can make a sequel to, because it'll just be easy to get these people back in and, get streamers like, hey, we made K-pop Demon Hunters 2. Hey, we made The Electric State 2. Hey, we made Nonas 2 with Vince Vaughn. And it's just like, that's probably another Netflix movie you guys didn't know it exists. There's a comedy with Vince Vaughn called Nonas where he goes to Italy or something like that. I don't know. And don't be surprised if, like, again, Happy Gilmore to me, while it is a sequel, with them acquiring Happy Madison's like production and being the distributor of their films, that's just basically like a locked in, like, these are sequels essentially, because it's like you're owning a whole like type of movie like to be released on Netflix. It's the same with like Tyler Perry movies. It's like, hey, that's a certain audience that follows this creator or follows that studio that will be tuning into Netflix whenever their stuff is released.
Nobody would believe me because nobody sits through as many Tyler Perry's movies as I do. Nobody would believe me, though. But I will say, like, Tyler Perry taking the Netflix deal, it was such a great deal for him. But in a couple of different ways, though, it screwed him in a way. Because first off, he's making some of the best movies he's ever made, like A Jazzman's Blues. I just said Straw. It's one of his best movies. He's been making a lot of really good movies for Netflix. Most of them are good. But the one thing that sucks, though, is that like he doesn't feel. I mean, clearly his bank account's not hurting, but he doesn't feel as like popular or as noteworthy as he once did because of that. I feel like his movies come and go so rapidly that you don't even leave much of an impression, despite whatever viewership metrics are measured, number one. And number two, I can't deny this as somebody who saw so many Tyler Perry movies, probably a dozen Tyler Perry movies in the theater. Those were movies that were fun to see in the theater with an audience that was engaged, that reacted. Like, seeing the you lose that when you go to Netflix, then you lose that, yeah. But that's my end disclaimer on Tyler Perry. I guess we will launch into closing thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2 while we're at it. What say you, Dom? You've spoke the least tonight.
Truth be told, there were some funny moments that did make me chuckle. There's a scene where Eric Andre, Margaret Qualley, and a third person I'm failing to remember, where they start breaking into dance, and the reason why it's funny is because they start breaking into dance to turn down for what or whatever, or to the windows to the wall, and it's like the camera starts shaking and it pans over to Happy Gilmore just in the background, just being like, those motherfuckers. And, like it's like moments like that where it's like, see, that's like funny filmmaking to me.
That was probably my favorite sequence, was the golf course with them.
Right. And it's like there was something there before it just devolves into what it became. I think the only people that should bother watching this movie are lonely people, and if you're a golf fan. If you are a golf fan, you should probably watch this movie just because it's so part of the culture, to the point where this movie is stuffed to the brim with golf names, and I just started writing them off. I'm like, I'm sure that guy's famous. Yeah, I'm sure that guy's
dude,
famous.
that whole room of like when at the country club,
yeah,
that's all golfers. Those are real golfers. Yeah. The whole room.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lack
even
of
Uncle
melanin.
John Daly, even Uncle John Daly, who lives in the garage, he's a legit golfer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The lack of melanin in those sequences, I'm like, I bet you these are all famous golfers. That's the only way this makes sense to me, and the reason why their acting is so poor. But regardless, yeah, man, it's 1.5 out of 4 stars. It is what it is, and this is a cyclical thing with Adam Sandler movies where we run the same gamut, where it's like we should reserve the right to lambast this as creatively bankrupt and a sign of Adam Sandler's laziness when it comes to the creative process. Simultaneously, does he have obligation to like destroy his body making character works and like win Oscars every fucking year? Not necessarily. Like, as long as he's not, taking advantage of people and he's paying people, then all right, sure, whatever. He can do whatever he wants to do. And if you were in his shoes, if you, like the number of Reddit warriors that would love to be in his shoes, right? be famous for a few decades and then just coast, just go off and do whatever the hell you want. You do it too. Don't think you wouldn't. 1.5 out of 4 stars.
That was really good. This review has brought out the best in us in a lot of respects. Joe, what say you? Final words on Happy Gilmore 2.
We barely talked about it tonight. That should tell you everything you need to know about this movie.
We didn't dive into it too much.
All right, like, it's like we just didn't care. It brought up other points we wanted to talk about rather than the movie. That's never been done on Sleepless before, honestly. I don't know another movie that we came on the show like, we're reviewing this, and then we'll end the review and go, okay, now we're going to transition to the topic relating to the movie. No, we just hard stopped, and then we're like, oh shit, we just haven't given our star ratings yet. Dude, I was this close at one point to going half star. I really was. I was that frustrated with it. The longer it sat with me, the more I'm just like, okay, it's not Woody the Woodpecker. It didn't piss me off that bad. Like it didn't get me to that level. And I have no animosity or anger towards Sandler. I can care less. It's just I know what this is now. And it's like, look, if you want to do this, that's fine, man. You obviously are a cool guy to hang out with. Everybody gets along with you. Everybody wants to hang out with you. Hell, everybody wants to be in your movie, as far as I'm concerned, after watching this one. And I don't know if that's because, like, hey, maybe you're getting towards the end of your career and you're just like, screw it, come hang out with me on set. I used to just bring the same guys around. I'm gonna bring everybody around now, including my own kids and wife. They're gonna be in my movies too. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, there's plenty of people. James Gunn, everybody's praising him. James Gunn brings the same amount of friends and same people onto his movies every movie. Okay, I never had a problem with people coming, the same people working with one another. That's never been a problem in Hollywood. I've seen it, and like Dom said, I've seen that on Reddit. I've seen that on the internet. I've seen people complain about that all the time, being like, "Oh my god, of course he brings his wife into this. Oh my god, he brought Nathan Fillion again into this. Oh my god, he brought Michael Rooker back." Dude, they're friends, okay? And you know what? If he writes a part for them, he writes a part from them. As long as they play the part good, I don't really care. And with an Adam Sandler movie, most people aren't playing the part good, but that doesn't change anything because the movie's just not good. They're just there to have a fun time on set. Just me as a viewer, as somebody watching this, am I going to recommend it? No. It's 1 out of 4 stars for me. It will definitely be on my worst of the year, and I won't go long-winded about it there. I'll just be like, hey, go look at a review, because we talked about plenty of other things but that movie.
You know, it's funny, too, you talk about him using the same people for all his movies. Funny enough, though, Chris Rock, David Spade, The Usual Suspects, they're not in this thing.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Rob Schneider's in it. I don't think Kevin James is in it.
Just for, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
it was like blink and you miss it. Kevin James isn't in it. You know, like, it's funny. His most common collaborators aren't in this thing.
They're getting ready for Grown Ups 3, dude. They're going to finish out that trilogy.
Yeah, like that'll be good. It's probably a bad joke to make, but when they came out with the first Grown Ups, I remember somebody asked me if I was going to see it or what I thought of it, and I said it's only going to be good if Chris Farley's in it, because that's who it was supposed to be in it instead of Kevin James. Anyway, Happy Gilmore 2, though. This is a movie that the laws of probability suggest that a few things are going to land because so much crap is thrown at the wall in this thing. There's even a point, if I cared about golf, I could have went long-winded in this. I do think the one smart thing this movie does is the way it positions, like, the PGA having to take down this new gimmicky brand of golf is kind of like what's currently happening with the PGA and the Live Golf rivalry right now. I think they kind of work that in there. And I just know tangentially about it because I listen to Dan Patrick enough and stuff. Somebody who cares about the fucking sanctity of golf can write about that, not me. But the other thing I'll note about this, and one of the only major points I didn't make yet about this movie, is that now with them being old enough to, like, you know, have their own roles and stuff, kind of like Kevin Smith's daughter and stuff like that, and him bringing his wife into these things. His movies now lately, Adam Sandler's, like, wraparound thematic, you know, like, overtones really match the Fast and the Furious movies now as far as family is concerned. Like, it's just a random thought I had when writing the review. There's very much intertwining of the Fast and the Furious themes of family with Adam Sandler's latest works. That's again a piece for somebody else. I'm giving piece ideas. Think piece ideas out for days over here. I'm the kindest one of the bunch. I gave it 2 out of 4 because I don't think it is offensively bad. And it honestly kept me pretty interested for the first 40 minutes just on the basis of, like, what direction it was going to take. It started a hell of a lot darker than I thought it was going to. I don't really understand the reason why they had to, like, refrigerate Julie Bowen. I like, you know, because at first, like, Julie Bowen,
like, why did we do this?
Julie Bowen even talked about she didn't expect when Happy Gilmore 2 was announced, she didn't expect to be contacted because she's older now. She made it. I saw on Twitter. She made a joke. She said, "I thought I was going to get replaced by, like, Sydney Sweeney," you know, which is like, you know, sad as it is funny. But then they bring her back, and she's a fucking ghost. Like, you know what I mean? Throughout the whole thing, yeah, kind of like even like Clerks 3 with Rosario Dawson in a way. It's like they brought her back as a ghost. You know what I mean?
I hate to interrupt your review, but I'm like, I kind of do appreciate that the movie had the balls to do something narratively bold. Why did I say those string of words for fucking Happy Gilmore 2? Finish the goddamn review. Sorry.
2 out of 4 stars for Happy Gilmore 2. 2 for 2, as it's known. I did not like it as much as I didn't like Axel F. Though, Beverly Hills Cop 4. Did anybody see it? You did see it. Yeah, you know the one scene that made me die laughing in that movie is funnier than anything in Happy Gilmore 2. It's the joke about Jupiter ascending. I still reference it to this day. It's the joke about Jupiter ascending, basically, Dom, to kill the last minute or so. Basically, Dom, in the movie, Eddie Murphy, he goes to this, like, acting thing or whatever, this, like, acting, like, seminar or whatever, or this office, this agency, and he's fucking with the guy behind the counter, though. He was like, I was in a movie called Jupiter Ascending, and Eddie Murphy's trying to get info out of him. So he goes, oh, I love that movie. So his daughter starts fucking with him. She's like, she knows he hasn't seen it. She's like, what was your favorite part? And he goes, that part. You've seen the movie with Jupiter. And it did this thing, and his daughter goes, it ascended. That shit when it ascended, man.
That I actually I genuinely do like that movie. Like that movie got some good laughs out of me throughout the whole thing. I went back because I never seen the other ones. That was the first Beverly Hills Cop movie I saw because my mom wanted to watch it. I went back and rewatched the other ones or watched those for the first time, and I was like, okay, like maybe that fourth one wasn't as good now that I think about it, but like I had fun with it.
The last bit of that scene that makes me laugh is when the guy is like, "I can't believe you've seen it and you remember my favorite part of the movie." He goes, "Have you ever heard of Kismet? It's like destiny." And then Eddie Murphy just goes, "Yeah, that's some Kismet shit for your ass." I still say that. That is fun. That movie, crap, like The Sitter, crap movie, great scene. Like you know, how do you rate a comedy that did make you laugh your ass off and have one memorable joke? I referenced The Sitter, the Jonah Hill movie nobody remembers, because there's that movie. I hated that movie. And the one scene though that did make me laugh was at the end when the one girl yells to Jonah Hill. She's like, "Noah, you got some big ass balls." And Jonah Hill goes, "Can't buy underwear. Balls don't fit." And I'm like, how do you rate a movie? It made you laugh your ass off for one scene. Anyway, we gotta go. Spent too much time on Happy Gilmore 2. We're back next week, hopefully with a good comedy. We're reviewing The Naked Gun. It's The Gruesome Twosome. Me and Dom. Joe will rejoin us on the following week for our review of Zach Kreger's Weapons. Hopefully get some good movies to talk about here pretty soon on Sleepless with Steve. Until then, for Joe Viso, Dominic Guanzon, and yours truly, this has been Sleepless with Steve.